the phrase of the Masculist, feminists are stupid. 7. Women need to be judged by men for their personalities and abilities rather than their degree of visual sexual attractiveness. Women have had a monopoly control of reproduction for 1 million years. That is, it is women who decide which man will ejaculate inside her, thus getting her pregnant. Thus men are the way they are because women who have reproductive monopoly control wanted men to be the way they are. Men are visually sexual, getting excited sexually by the sight of a curvy, sexually attractive, that is nubile, young, fertile female. That is the way men evolved. As proof of this, look at the enormous fake-up industry, that is, the makeup industry, where women pretend to be prettier, sexier than they really are, so that men will be more likely to look at them and hence allow themselves to become sexually trapped by female manslavers, so that after getting regular sex from his female sexual partner, the frontal lobes of his brain switch off, in parentheses, the so-called male frontal lobe switch off. That is, the regions of his brain that control planning and critical thinking. This female-induced male frontal lobe switch off makes him much less critical, hence more manipulable by his woman, who can then steer him into providing her and her babies more resources and money, so that she can have her manslave pay for her to have babies in a house and food that he pays for. Thus women evolved to be prostitutes to men, to make themselves better exploiters of men, better able to cause the male frontal lobe switch off, so better able to extract resources from gullible, man-slaved men. Women evolved to appeal to men visually, and so sexually selected men who behaved that way, because it was to women's advantage. The feminazis are thus pushing against the trait that men have, that is, judging women's visual attractiveness over women's personalities and performance levels. If the feminazis complain about this, then they only have themselves to blame, since it is the feminazis who caused it, because women have had a monopoly of reproduction for 1 million years. Complaining against it is as stupid as King Canute commanding the tide not to come in, or as futile as Bolivar stated to try to plough the sea. 8. Men need to be taught about their male privileges so that they give them up. Men are privileged in the sense that women sexually selected men who were smarter and more aggressive than women. Women are largely responsible for the establishment of the patriarchy, that is, women's hypergamy. The other major cause of the patriarchy is GMV, greater male variance, that is, men's 10% greater IQ variance, so that the genii are males, thought to be due to men having only one X chromosome in their cells, so that men express a greater variety of genes than women, so that men's abilities are more varied than women's across the board, including intelligence. Since most feminazis are such isscianates, not knowing such stuff as taught by science, then their opinions and attitudes cannot be influenced by such scientifically based knowledge. Hence, these isscianate feminazis base their opinions more on feelings, on myths that make them feel good. For example, that women are as capable as men, which of course flies in the face of the scientific evidence and makes these feminazis look like isscianate fairy PC bullshitters to masculist scientists, who are in effect the most formidable enemies of these feminazis, who will kill off feminazi gender myths with scientific-based harangues against them. Women and society in general need to be taught a lot more about gender politics from a scientifically based masculist perspective, so that they are more accurately informed as to what is really the case, rather than what isscianate fairy feminazis want to believe is true. Sure, it's nice to be told by third-wave feminazis that women are as capable as men, that women are the equals of men, that women deserve to be treated with the same level of respect as men. Such ideas feel good to women. So isscienate feminazis and millions of young women lap them up, not questioning their scientific invalidity, and hence live isscienate lives, guided by ideas and values that the masculist scientists label as stupid. So the feminazis are labelled as stupid as well for believing such isscienate garbage. Masculist scientists are pushing hard to teach society masculist, science-based, gender political realities, so that science takes a more balanced view of gender politics, so that the gender laws are more likely to be men-faired, so that the divorce courts are made men-fair, so that the para is brought in, so that women are forced to grow up, to flip up, to become responsible adults, so that young men are prepared to be fathers again, so that they are not wiped out financially by a hated feminazi, fluffy feminist, hypocrite-dominated divorce court system. Masculist scientists need to destroy belief in the isscienate fairy misandry of the fluffy feminist misandrist bitchery of the feminazis, so that the sex war can be avoided. Scientizing the feminazis is the more humane approach to men-fairing the gender laws. If that approach fails, then there will be a sex war where millions of feminazis will be shot by responsible males, masculine soldiers, who, in capital letters, will not tolerate that the hated feminazi bitches wipe out whole populations. End capital letters. Masculine soldiers will shoot them first to avoid this catastrophe. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. And in brackets,